Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Hasbyah Aini. I will explain about qualitative research, especially the grounded theory method. So, what is the grounded theory method? Grounded theory method is a method of research based on facts and uses comparative analysis, aims to form generalizations, establish concepts, prove and develop theories. Data collection and analysis on this approach takes place simultaneously. This qualitative research on grounded theory methods is conceptual in nature, with produce inductive thinking theory results from research data on a phenomenon. In other words, theories are formed from the data or information of a phenomenon and then analyzed in an inductive way. The next characteristic. Grounded theory have 4 characteristics. Number 1, produced from the data of a phenomenon, not from the development of an existing theory. Number 2, theory is prepared using inductive data analysis. Number 3, the ability of researchers to interpret data is influenced by experience, knowledge, the amount of literature, and relevant research. The last characteristic, 4 criteria that must be met in order to produce a correct theory include understanding, fit, supervision or control, and generally accepted or generality. Fit, that is, if the theory produced in accordance with the everyday reality of the field under study. And the next, understanding of the theory describes a reality that is comprehensive so that it can be understood by the subject under study or by the researcher. The next, generally, if the theory covers a variety of fields so that it can be applied in various contexts. The last, supervision. Supervision, that is, if theory contains hypotheses that can be used in systematic guidance activities. The next, the principle of grounded theory. Grounded theory have 6 principles. The first, formulation of the problem, detection of phenomena, declining theory, theory development, rating theory, and the last, grounded theory, that was reconstruct. Formulation of the problem. The choice and formulation of problem is the most important center of scientific research. By including all the constraints in the formulation of the problem enables to research to direct the investigation effectively by showing the way to the solution itself. In the real sense, the problem is half of the solution. The next, detection of phenomena. Relatively stable phenomena, common features that emerge from the world we see to be explained. Be more interesting, this important, and distinguishable order is sometimes called effect. Phenomena include a variety of ontological scopes, which include objects, circumstance, process, and events, as well as other characteristics that are difficult to classify. The next, declining theory. According to Glaser and Strauss, grounded theory is said to emerge inductively from data source according to the method of constant comparison. As a method of discovery, the method of comparison remains a mixture of systematic coding, data analysis, and theo- theoretical sampling procedures that enable researchers to make interpretation of most of the different patterns in the data by developing theoretical ideas at a higher level of abstraction than data description early. The next theory development. Glaser and Strauss hold a dynamic perspective and theoretical construction. This is clear from their claim that the comparative analysis strategy for decision theory places a strong emphasis on theory as a process. That is, theory as a whole that has never developed, not as a perfect product. The next, rating theory. Glaser and Strauss explain that there is more to the assessment of theory than testing for empirical sufficiency. Clarity, consistency, economical nature, density, scope, integration, suitable or data, ability to explain, predicative, heuristic price, and application are all mentioned as the relevant evaluation criteria. The last principle, grounded theory that was reconstructed just as the construction of a paper, which is the completeness of a study compared to the narrative calculation of the research. The philosophical reconstruction of the method is a profitable construction. The last material is data analysis process. Data analysis process have 4 points. The first point is in open coding. Researchers form the initial category of information about the phenomena studied by separating information into segments. Within each category, researchers find several properties or subcategories and search for data to make dimensions or show extreme possibilities on the continuum of the property. The point B in Excel coding. Researchers assemble data in new ways after open coding. This data assembly is present using a coding paradigm or logic diagram where the researcher identifies a central phenomenon, explores causal conditions, specifies strategies, identifies context and the conditions that mediate, and describe the consequences for this phenomenon. And then point C in selecting coding. Researchers identify storylines and write stories that integrate categories in the pivot coding model. In this phase, conditional prepositions or hypotheses are usually present. The last point, finally, researchers can develop and visually depict conditional metrics that explain the social, historical, and economic conditions that affect central phenomena. This analysis phase is not often found in grounded theory. So that's an explanation of the grounded theory method. I hope my explanation can be understood. Thanks for watching and thanks for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.